Hey, my little crafty corner friends. I've got another process video, another craft with me, whatever you want to call it. I am using this, the main focus here is that digital, that green dress that's from my March Lady Luck digital. And I cheated again, just to save time, because if I didn't, we're talking like 50 minutes to an hour to get this layout done. So I've sped it up 2 times, and I am just starting out here. I think that's some Maggie Holmes paper, and I'm just trimming it down. My book is about 5.5 inches wide, and I think 8 inches long is what I'm leaving it at, is what I'm leaving the paper. So those 6x8 papers work well. If you have some 12x12s, you can definitely cut that down. Maybe papers in your stash that are smaller, because that's always great for adding varying heights and lengths and widths and all that sort of thing. So you'll see that as I go through my book and start playing in it, that not everything is going to be the same width and size and everything. So I have a couple scraps for my stash. You'll see that I have a torn piece of paper. I think that like what is that, like a plaid, a gingham sort of situation on the left, that pink. It's got hints of pink and brown and like a creamy white in it, and I really like a rough edge. So I was thinking about laying it to the left and kind of tucking everything in, using the curve of the dress and the curve of the paper, and you know, to document. This is a bathroom selfie at a restaurant I was at. Let's be honest, I think it's super funny that we even do that, but I was so happy to be at that restaurant because it's gluten-free, and my sweet mother-in-law found the restaurant, and whenever they come in town, we always like to get together and eat. And she was so excited because this place was gluten-free, and they said, oh yeah, we take care of gluten-free. Again, I'm sorry I'm talking about the gluten-free lifestyle, but it is I mean, it's incorporated into everything. But anyways, I talked to the waitress, and she was talking about how, I mean, they have a special ticket. It's a yellow ticket, and they have to get sign off from the manager, and only her or the manager can bring it out. I mean, it's a whole process. So I was just so happy because after this lunch, we were going to go to see the Glenn Miller orchestra band, and I did not want to be sick. We had bought the tickets back in, I don't know, December, and this was for, was it February, March? I can't remember when we saw the Glenn Miller. I think it was February, but which I still need to craft and document as well. But I was just so excited, and I was like, okay, Lord, please I don't want to get sick. Let me enjoy the food. Let me have a new restaurant to come and eat at, and then go see this show. So I was really excited. So I took a little bathroom selfie before somebody walked in, and I embarrassed myself. But I think we've all been there. So anyways, I'm just kind of grabbing some papers. I usually just start with a few things that match in the color scheme. And what I end up going with is this green paper that I got from another shop just like mine. Sunny is her name, at Vintage Foxfur. She has cute little kits too, so I buy her stuff too. I'm just like you. I can't help myself, and why not support somebody else's as well, right? There's plenty in God's economy and His kingdom, right? So I'm just kind of playing and layering, and I decide that I actually like this torn paper at the bottom. I thought I liked it on the left corner, the whole side of the paper, and I said, nah, this is where I want it. So I'm just kind of loosely measuring, because we don't really measure here other than the trimmer paper. And so I like a little bit of the paper up top. I like the paper at the bottom. And now I'm just kind of going, okay, this is where I want this to go. So I have that vintage receipt there, which kind of is just reminiscent to the dinner, although that is not from the dinner. It's just some vintage receipt that I had in my stash. And then the dress kind of just works because, if you know me, I hardly ever wear dresses anymore. I used to wear them all the time. That's not my thing anymore. I am comfy in yoga pants or jeans, and that's my jam. But, you know, like I said, we were going out, and it was a fun little special occasion. So your girl shaved her legs and she put on a dress. You're learning way too much about me on these voiceovers, but that's all right. We're friends. It's okay. So anyways, I'm going through some of my stash. I think this is my Illustrated Faith stash. Yeah, and I'm just kind of going through looking to see what else I can add on or layer on. Maybe florals or just ephemera pieces within the color scheme. So I'm kind of going in this brown, like what is this, like a warm honey kind of paper, and then the green from the dress and the green on the paper, the cream from the receipt. And so the brown is going to match my photo, and it also matches the, I guess, the wood paneling in the background. And I'm trying to decide if I want a butterfly. I added in another piece of that. That floral is Dear Lizzie, and then you can see that Pond's like jar and lipstick. That is actually from, I believe, the March Digital as well. I don't have it in front of me. I've been making a few digitals lately, so my brain's like, what does this belong to? So forgive me. I believe it's the Lady Luck. Yeah. So it goes with that dress digital as well, and you've seen my previous layout. So I'm kind of just moving things around. I find some more like wood grain type paper in my stash, tear that up, and decide I want to make it another rough layer on the bottom and the top. So I'm adding the glue, just kind of where I think I wanted it, and then wait a second, I don't know if that's where I want it, but it's already down. Again, tearing that receipt just to make room at the top, and so it doesn't crowd too much at the bottom, because you can see there, the bottom layer, it kind of comes up a bit, and I think I bring it down just slightly. So I moved the wood grain type paper, and of course ended up tearing it, but you know, you won't see it, so it's okay. So I'm just kind of adjusting and messing with that a little bit here and there. I thought I wanted it to the right and went, nope, I don't like it. Fingers are dancing, which means I'm thinking. And then I didn't like it in the center, so I do end up moving it back to the left, and I just have to get it just right. I think that was a piece of scrap paper. Oh, that was like, yeah, a piece of the receipt. So then I tear up that same wood grain paper that I was playing with earlier, and I wanted to not have such a clean line, and so I kind of tore it a little bit and end up gluing it back where I had it. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? So then I scoot the paper back up a little bit, add some more of that zig glue, which I'm running low on. I didn't realize it was going to be so handy. I'd seen other people use it, and I was like, I'll give it a try. And I like it for like these little precision type things, or like when I'm adding my reinforcers and stuff. It's a great little glue, so I'm going to have to put that back in my Amazon cart. So I'm just doing the same thing to the top, adding the 2 layers. And then I kind of just trim off the edges there and get it all lined up, because I wanted this one to be, I don't want to say seamless, because obviously there's seams, but you know, to make it all cohesive all the way around, like clean edges, and the rough is within the paper itself. So you just see me grab my hole punch there, re-hole punch it, and I went to go, what did I do? Oh, sew, yeah. So I just stepped over to my machine, and I still have some of that gold thread in there, and I do a quick zigzag pattern and do that on the top and the bottom. Again, you know me, I like some interest and some texture. So, you know, the paper is one layer with the torn edges and roughed up, and then, you know, I'm adding the gold stitching and the zigzag, which I'll show eventually. I don't know what happened here. Jeopardy music again. There it is. So I'm just cutting it, and I don't know if you could see the zigzag there. It's really pretty in person. And then I'm going to go get my reinforcer punch and grab some paper from my stash. I just have a little zip bag with random scraps of paper, and I'm just going to see what's going to work. I didn't want to do that polka dot one. I felt like it would take away from it. I wanted something within the shade, and that is like a, what die cuts with the view paper or something, and it's a nice light pink, kind of similar to the pink that's within those top and bottom strips. So I add that, and it just kind of melts away without taking away too much focus. Sometimes I want to call it focus to the reinforcers, and sometimes I don't. So on this one, I didn't want to. I wanted the main focus really to be the center of the page, which is why I think it works so well with the green and the yellow popping off of the brown. So I think I went to go get, did I go get a stamp? What am I doing? I don't know. Dead air, guys, dead air. Sorry. Maybe I went to do, I don't know, something. Oh, I think I didn't have the right glue. I think that's what it was. So I'm just adding the little reinforcers, the light pink, and making sure it doesn't stick. So again, just some double-sided tape, nothing fancy or spectacular. And I'm just going to start adding on the layers, and of course, you know, bottom up. And I'm going to go right to left and then kind of just keep going back and forth. It's almost like a zigzag as you layer things up, you know, depending on where you start. So again, I have the dress somewhere other than where it ends up. So I'm still kind of like, I wasn't 100% sure where I wanted it, but I know I wanted it because that dress is so cute. It's really, really cute. And then that's just a vintage card for my stash. And I wanted that that piece with the blue box that's behind it, that's now the dress is currently laying on top of. That is old stash from Christine Middlecamp when she did her life crafted kits for a minute there. It says life narrative on there, which is kind of a nod to the whole gluten-free thing. And then the little strip, the word strip there says killing it, because this restaurant was killing it. And no, I did not get sick, in case you're wondering. I was able to go on to the Glenn Miller show and have a great time. So I just thought it was a perfect, funny little sentiment to remind me of this moment, because being able to eat somewhere and not have to worry about anything is such an amazing thing. So now I move the dress to the left, and I'm thinking, yes, ma'am, I like it there. So now it's just trying to get it in order and that sort of thing. How do I want this? Do I want the card up, card down? It's all about balancing the whole thing, right? Making sure the layers look good. There's another scrap piece of paper that came in somebody else's kit, and I'm just, you know, adding some, to me, that's just another layer of texture. Fabric is great for that. If you say you get a ruffle from me and then you're like, you know what, I don't want this, and you want to, you know, unravel it, go for it and just use the fabric as you would a piece of paper. So there's a little hole punch of one of the ladies in my Lady Luck digital, and I just punched her with a, I think I want to say 1/4 inch punch, and I like how she kind of tucks out of the lipstick tube and the, what do you call that? I don't know, the Pond's cream, whatever the jar is. You can see that glue stick I pulled out. I'm not even going to attempt to say the name. It smells delicious. It's sticky as heck. You can buy it on Amazon. It's pretty spendy for a glue stick, but I use it only for my junk journals and for adding some adhesive just like this to the fabric instead of like Fabri-tac when I just need it to stick a little bit. That's how I do it. So I went and took this to my sewing machine again, and what I did is use that same cross stitch to connect the paper, the dress, and the card together, because I didn't want it to move anymore. Plus, again, it's just another layer of texture. It picks up more of the gold from the top and the bottom. And it's just something super fun. So I added that to this layout. So I'm thinking, okay, I like the way that looks. And I take off this tape and I end up actually adding, guess what? What did I bring out? I bring out Big Bertha. I'm realizing I want some more dimension. I did make a 4-inch spine for this book, so why not? And I tell you what, it's already filling up the bottom half of my book because of the way my layouts are. Is the chunkiness tends to be towards the bottom, but that's okay. I don't care. I'm having fun. So I'm just adding a bunch of that 3M foam tape, which reminds me again to add it to my Amazon cart, maybe with some more with that adhesive. And I'm just popping it up. I didn't have a 7 of hearts, but I had a 5 of hearts, so that made it in there. That green card. So apparently I have to cover every square inch. I think, I do that also because I want to make sure it doesn't sink or pucker or anything like that. So I really want to get a lot of that adhesive in there. And then I'm just cutting off anything that would stick over the edge. So I like the way that looks. I'm doing happy fingers. And then I'm like, okay, what if I put her there? And I'm like, no. How about that? No. I don't like that either. That just looks weird. That's going to be bulk that I don't want. So I decided not to on this layout, although I do like that little clothespin. I decided to get some Felicity Jane paper clips, and I got a yellow one, and it pulls out the yellow from her dress, and there's little bits of yellow in my dress, but it's hard to see. So I'm just going to add some more foam tape and get that layered up onto the mini and stacks there. Okay, so fingers are dancing. What do I do? I have a drawer of stickers, and I'm deciding what I want to use. I do like that word phrase. It says moments. That's a Maggie Holmes sticker. And then there's this beautiful floral gold, shiny gold. It's so pretty. And I liked it. It passed the audition, so to speak. And then I'm getting carried away and I'm like, okay, let's take it down a notch. No, we don't need that. I wasn't having it. I keep trying to grab and add some more because yes, I am more is more, but sometimes that's enough. So I'm just going through, double checking. Did I miss anything? Did I see anything? And I grabbed this similar gold type heart, and I was like, no, I didn't like it, and I felt like it took away from what was going on. So I was good with the sticker. So I had to get that down, as you see me do. I'm doing the squishy squishy swirl. And I'm just taking that off. I don't delete this because you know what? It's just so much easier just to kind of just fast forward and go through. So I hope y'all don't mind. You could always just fast forward the video if you want. I know sometimes that's kind of what I do. So I'm just layering up because I want that to stick out. Now, if I wanted to, I could have trimmed some of that and had it come out the other edge so I don't waste the whole thing, but I'm fine. Sometimes I cut them, sometimes I don't. So I'm adding some foam tape because of the layers that are underneath, right? With the card and the dress and the green paper, I want to make sure it's level. Otherwise, again, you're going to have that falling sensation or puckering, and it's just going to look wonky. So I'm just adding a couple small pieces of foam tape to kind of fill in that gap so it sits flush with the other stuff. And then I'm just pulling out some matching threads. Wow, these really show vibrant on the camera. I like it. Look at those greens. Yikes. So I'm gonna definitely pull out some gold to match And then there's that copper, like the gold is on that silver bobbin that's basically empty. There's like only a little bit left. The other one is full on my machine. And then, so I have the copper there. I have some different shades of green. I have this yellow, and I'm just laying the thread on top of the layout, and just kind of throwing it across to see what blends in or what is just a slightly brighter or lighter, right? Because that's kind of what's going to give it some contrast or help it melt in. Now it's just deciding where I want to do this. So I'm going to do it under the photo for sure. I think that one was a vintage one. Here's the rest of my gold. It's so nice to finish a roll. A bobbin, that was so nice. Not bobbin, a spool. There we go. Hello. A light green there. This one's kind of springy. This one's like a goldenrod, sort of a yellow. And I'm just layering it on there, just really messily and just having a good time. You know, I was thinking to myself when I was recording this, it's like, you know, a video is coming to an end when I start bringing out the threads, because that's almost like towards the end of my layout is adding those threads sometimes. So I ended up doing, what was that, like 5 colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, I think five colors. But it really just, it looks nice in person. I wish y'all could see them in person. It's super fun. You try to capture that in a photo, but sometimes it just, the lighting's not right or the camera's not right. But so I'm going to add some Fabri-tac. That's another thing I need to get more of. And, you know, I don't even know if these are acid free or, you know, we're going to mess up your memories from here on out. But I'm like, nobody's going to get these. So it's more about just having fun and living in the moment and playing with these things. I'm not worried about preserving anything. So I'm doing my usual. This is normally what I do is I'll add my adhesives on top to kind of, you know, help the bind the glue a little bit and help it stay in place. So now I'm just going to add that Maggie Holmes Moment sticker, and I just use some more of that Zig adhesive. I really like that pen. It's great. So there's one that's like a foam tip and one that's like a precision point, kind of like a writing pen. So I believe, yeah, that's the writing tip pen. It's really cool. And it comes out blue, dries clear, and it gives you a little bit of time to move things around. But I think it adheres pretty well. So now that I've got that down, now I'm deciding, you know, the last little bits, which is that little floral. Again, you can grab whatever you want. I wanted to kind of carry the cluster up, so to speak, and that tall stand-up floral works versus the gold floral, which is more to that sticker that kind of just sticks out and pulls your eye to the right a little bit. So, and it has all the colors, right? It's got the color for the Pond's digital. It's got a little bit of the green. It's got some of the creamy white. It's shiny, iridescent, kind of like the gold. So it's got all those factors in it, which is what makes me want to add it. So I decided to start with a flower, right? And I'm going to work my way up. So I have my, my word strips already in there, which I'm going to date stamp off camera. And then I'm just trying to figure out where to tuck in that lady's head. I do add some foam tape again because I want her to be flush to everything else at the right height. And I use some of that ArtGlitter glue since it's not really going to be on the threads, but more like on the sticker and the paper there. It would adhere just fine without the Fabri-tac. So I'm just having her head peek out just slightly from the lipstick and the Pond's jar that's there. So I'm just going to add some more Fabri-tac. Get that on there and just make sure it sits just right so she's peeking out of there. This came out really, really cute. I had a good time making this this layout. Make sure you close your Fabri-tacs, because I had one that stayed open and it literally turned into like a rubber ball in there that I had to slowly fish out with a poker. That was not fun. So I went to go grab some stamps, and I ended up going with from Illustrated Faith. It's this stamp set. It's Elaine's Art Essentials Gratitude Chit Chat. And I ended up going with the sentiment thankful for, because I was just so thankful that I could eat at a restaurant and not have to worry about anything. And they take such good care of their patrons with allergies and gluten allergies. So I'm just grabbing that, and I'm going to just do a little stamping. And I end up using the Distress Oxide in Gathered Twigs. I grabbed two of my browns. I think I have the tea dyed and then the Gathered Twigs. That's what I'm going to go get. And I end up going with the darker one because I needed to see that it would come through. Otherwise, that tea dye would just fade in, kind of the way the pink reinforcers do, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to stand out. So I did it once, and I said, you know, I kind of want to kind of ghost it a little bit. So I did a few more stamps of that, just kind of gently on there, and it just says thankful for at the top. So that is, I think, pretty much it. And as the usual, I do have some stills coming up, so thank you guys again for hanging out and checking my videos out. I'm trying to get these done on the regular for you, so it's actually kind of, y'all are keeping me accountable, so thank you for that. So as you can see, my book is getting chunky, and I like it. So she's back in her home. I love it. I'm having so much fun with this project, and seeing you guys create with Beauty Queens has been fantastic. So here's a couple stills. Thank you again. Thanks for coming to my channel, liking, subscribing, all the things. I will see you all again later. Thanks. Bye.